Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane 1966 Batman Classic TV Series Batboat. Now, I don't know if this was used in any of the episodes, but I know it was used in the 1966 film, and it's a great addition to the Bat Armory. They don't give us a lot of Batboats out there. I ordered this thing for the McFarlane toy store. It's in stock right now, so let's take a look at it. As you can see, DC, McFarlane Toys, Batboat, Batman Classic TV Series, ages 12 plus. Here's the Batboat. One noticeable thing, the steering wheel is on the right hand side, kind of like how they drive in Britain, which is kind of interesting there. Looks like we have console, different levers, light at the top, a fin that goes up and down. The bottom, a bunch of credits, and there's the barcode, if that helps anybody. On the back side, you can see the Batcave, Batman Classic TV Series, an image of the Batboat from the film, and then Batman in the Batcave. So no further ado, let's open it up. I did get two of these Batboats, one of which to open and enjoy, and the other one to keep unopened in my complete Batman-related unopened action figure collection. Alright, now that I have this vehicle out of the package, here it is with all the accessories laid out. It doesn't come with any traditional accessories, but it comes with a few different stickers to put around the Batboat. But before we attach those, let's talk about and check out the actual vehicle. So this is a Batboat, one of many pieces in the Bat Armory from the 1966 universe. We have the Batmobile, the Batcycle, the Batcopter, and the Batboat. They've made all of these except for the Batcopter, and I bet that's coming next. Once that's made, maybe they'll do Batgirl's Batcycle, who knows. But I'm really happy we have the Batmobile, the Batcycle with sidecar, and now the Batboat. First time they've ever made a 1966 Batboat in the 6-inch scale. Really hope they do the Batcopter next. Logically, it makes perfect sense. So let's take a look at it. So we got the boat. It's got white base, some flames painted on it, blue below that. The front, it's got two sort of windshields for the cockpit and passenger. I noticed the driver is on the right-hand side. We've got gear shift here with the bat symbol on it. We've got the bat phone in there. Very, very basic console, but at least it's there. Two different seats. A two-seater. Nice to see a vehicle. A Batman vehicle by McFarlane that's a two-seater that is supposed to be. A little siren type thing at the top. We have this fin here. Bent down in the package. Sticks up. Bat symbol on both sides. Looks pretty good. Looks like a couple compartments for storage, but they don't actually work. Backside, we have the exhaust where the flame would come out. It would be nice if there was a removable flame to attach there, but of course, there isn't. Pretty basic, but it does look good. They definitely did a good job on the way it looks, shape of this thing, the sculpt, etc. I feel like maybe it's a little bit smaller than it should be, but we'll find out shortly. One cool thing about this Batboat, it looks like it should. I mean, looking at it, it's a little bit smaller compared to the figures than it should be. The fins maybe not quite as big as it was in the movie, but it looks right. It looks normal, and I appreciate that. I really appreciate accurate representations of Batman vehicles from movies, cartoons, comics, etc. Not that wild, crazy, different, colorful stuff, but accurate, normal-looking vehicles, and this fits that bill, and it's in the right scale, at least close enough to what I want for the figures. And here's an image of the Batboat from the 1966 Batman movie. This vehicle is a pretty accurate depiction. Now let's attach these stickers. We have the sticker sheet here, and it has 4 stickers on it. 2 were the long ones, and 2 shorter ones. Now, I want to give a big shout out to Casimir Inanimate Objects. I saw his post on Instagram where he said that he had threw his stickers away. They're simply taped to the back of the packaging, and honestly, I've thrown mine away as well. Not noticeable at all, nothing to draw your attention to it, just looked like red lines on the package. But luckily, my trash hadn't been taken out yet. Someone out there opened up the box I put it in, took the stickers out. Thanks again, buddy. I'll be using the back of the package as a guide as to where to put the stickers. It's pretty obvious. Long one goes here, shorter one in the front. And then here's the Batboat with the stickers attached. Nice red trim along the edges. Yeah, it wasn't perfect how I attached it here, but pretty close. Came out maybe a little better on the other side there, a little more seamless. Still, not bad. I'm not sure why they didn't just paint that on there. They painted all these flames and bat symbols on there, but couldn't do the red stripes. Seems like an odd decision. Now to check out the measurements of this thing. So, from front to back, it's sitting at just under 15 inches deep as far as how wide it is. Looking at about 5 inches wide as far as how tall it is. Most of the Batboat there is about 3.5 inches tall, but if you go to the tallest point, the fin, it's about 5 inches tall. And now to check out the action features of this thing. And honestly, it really doesn't have any action features. Yeah, you've got this fin here that you can lay down on either side, but I don't think that's really an action feature. That's just a fit in the packaging. You have a steering wheel that does not turn. You've got a gear shift that does not turn, although it has a little give to it. It would have been kind of cool if they made that shift from different gears. You have a flame that's not there. You got a Batboat here that does technically float. So it's really just a solid piece of plastic to hold your figures, which is the next action feature that we should get to, which is, let's put some figures in this thing. Here are the two figures that are intended to go with this Batboat. These are the regular Batman and Robin from the 6-inch scale McFarlane Batman TV Series line. Let's get them inside. Here's Batman and Robin in this Batboat. Now, first of all, this Batboat could definitely use some sort of display stand. That way it could stand just like this. Instead, it wants to go to either one side or the other. The figures, they do fit inside, but if you imagine the sort of windshield here, their faces should probably be about as even as there. So they look like they're a little too large for this thing. Having their heads stick up further than the windshield just doesn't make much sense. Batman can't really grip the steering wheel. I mean, I could probably make it happen, but he has one fisted hand, one open hand. Robin's got really nothing to do on that side. As a whole, they don't look too bad, but they should sit into this thing a little further. And honestly, they could have made the seats go a little further down if they really wanted to manipulate the way it looked. As a whole, it's cool. Not great, but I'm really happy to add the Batboat to my overall Batman armory. And unfortunately, it looks like they made it a little undersized with the figures, just like they did with the Batmobile. The Batcycle, though, that one is scaled properly. I get there's a cost measure here. They're trying to keep this thing at $35 or less. I get it, but I would have happily paid a little bit more to have it just a little bigger and a little more accurate. Either way, it's a pretty cool vehicle. But like I said, a little undersized for the figures. A nice little display stand made out of water like this. This is one that came with the Hasbro Fortnite Victory Royale Speedboat. Keeps the boat front and center, level, straight. Now in the Fortnite one, you could stick the exhaust into this thing and have the boat sort of jumping up in the air, and it works, but it just doesn't hold, which is disappointing. I was really hoping I can get to sort of do something like that. Either way, it'd be a little exaggerated. Something like this would be appropriate. Instead, I'll settle for this. Still, not a bad way to display this Batboat. I was also curious if any of the McFarlane Bat villains would fit in this thing. Here's the Joker and the Riddler in this boat. Yeah, they fit, but Joker sticks out way too far. Riddler's not too bad, but it can be done. And then here's Catwoman and Penguin in this vehicle. Catwoman looks decent, doesn't stick out too far. Penguin does not fit very well. Both the Penguin and the Joker have this sort of jacket tail, and it's made of a semi-soft but kind of hard plastic, and so it doesn't really allow to fit. Yeah, if I could push Penguin all the way down in there, it doesn't look too bad, but the jacket just sort of pushes him right back up. As a whole, Penguin doesn't look very good. Catwoman looks decent, but it can be done if you want the villains to drive this thing. Although it might be a little bit more appropriate to have the McFarlane Batman and Joker in their swimsuits with the Batboat. Now to see how the Mattel 66 figures fit in this thing. Here's Batman, Batgirl, and Robin. They're a pretty similar size to McFarlane, maybe just a hair bigger. Here's the Mattel Batman and Robin in this thing. I'll tell you, it's a better fit with the Mattel figures. They're a little bit more articulated, so they sit in there, similar height. Batman holds the steering wheel with complete ease. He's got the bicep cut here, which really helps with that. Cloth capes. Figures are a little bit thinner, but they move a ton better. Legs, arms, waist, etc. They do fit in this thing better than McFarlane figures, but they're still a little bit too large. And here's the Mattel Batman and Batgirl driving the Batboat. Works pretty similar to Batman and Robin. Looks good. Just another member of the Bat family in the boat. I was also curious how the Mattel 66 villains would fit this boat. Here's the Mattel Joker and Riddler driving the Batboat. Similar issues. A little bit too big. They do fit in better than the McFarlane versions. Joker has the same coattail, but it's a little bit softer on the Mattel figure, so easier to manipulate and push the figure inside. Riddler sits down a little further, looks a little better than the Joker, but it definitely works. And I'd say it works better than the McFarlane villains. And then here's Catwoman and the Penguin in the Batboat. Catwoman fits fine in the driver's seat, no problem there. She's a lot smaller than Penguin. Penguin here just looks giant, fat, enormous here. It's really because his coattail's a little bit harder than Joker's. Doesn't quite get him in there the way I'd like to. But, once again, it does work. And once again, maybe it would be better to have Mattel's Batman and Joker with the swimsuit on next to this Batboat. Of course, there's the question, does a Batboat float? Here it is, I brought it to a nearby creek, and it sure does. Here's an image of Stan Lee driving this Batboat. For him, this is going to be a party boat. Stan Lee is a very powerful man. He's got women all over him. Now let's check it out. Next is some other action figure vehicles, starting off with other 1966 vehicles. Then we'll check it out with some other boat and water vehicles, and then with a bunch of other Bat vehicles in the 6 and 7 inch scale. Here it is, next to McFarlane 1966 Batmobile. Gorgeous vehicle, but underscaled next to the figures, similar to the Batboat, but I'd say the Batmobile is the worst offender of this. And here it is, next to McFarlane's Batcycle with sidecar. It's scaled up a little bit larger compared to the figures, which is nice, but then looks too big next to the Batboat. So here are all the McFarlane 1966 Batman Classic TV Series vehicles. Of course, the infamous Batmobile, and the Batboat, and the Batcycle. What's missing? The Batcopter. Logically, I expect that to come out in the future. Really hope they do. It's a cool vehicle. Now, what else could they possibly make? Well, they could possibly do Batgirl's motorcycle, and then I think there was at least a Catwoman car, a Joker car, and a couple different vehicles. So, there are possibilities for the future. We'll see. Really hope they do that Batcopter, though. And here it is, next to Mattel's 66 Batmobile. This one is far superior to McFarlane's version. Looks better in pretty much every possible way. Then, next to a Hot Wheels 1/12 scale Batcycle, I took the sidecar off. Another in-scale 66 vehicle. Now let's check it out. Next to some other Batboats and boats in my collection. Here it is, next to a Kenner 1995 Batman Forever Batboat. The Batboat was featured in 2 films, the 66 film and the 95 film. Here it is, next to a Mattel, the Batman animated Batboat. Now, this thing kind of looks like a jet, looks like it'd be flying, but that is what the Batboat looked like in that cartoon. This is like a 3-in-1 vehicle. It's the Batboat, and a little ejection cycle, and a jet, all in one. Here it is, next to the Kenner Bat Ski Boat from Batman Returns. And while not exactly a water vehicle, here it is next to the Bat Hammer from Batman and Robin. This thing was designed to drive on the ice. Here's this Batboat, next to a Hasbro Fortnite Victory Royale 1/12 scale motorboat. This Fortnite speedboat is, I would say, the best boat out there for a 6 and 7 inch scale figure. It is very nice. Of course, that's why I had to get 2 of these things. And now, next to a little small Mattel wrestling boat, here's the Batboat, next to my cat Barbara. We call her Baby for short. Now let's check it out. Next to some of the McFarlane DC Multiverse Bat vehicles. Here it is, next to all the different Batcycles they've made. Then, next to the Bat Raptor. Here it is, next to both versions of the Batmobeast. And here it is, next to possibly the best Batman vehicle out there, McFarlane's 1989 Batmobile from the Flash film. Looks amazing. Speaking of which, let's check it out. Next to Batman vehicles from each of the different films. We already checked it out, next to plenty of 66 vehicles. And here it is, next to McFarlane's 89 Batmobile. And here, next to some smaller scale 89 vehicles, the Toy Biz Batmobile and Batwing. They actually look pretty in scale with this Batboat. Then, in Batman Returns, Batman used both the Batmobile and the Bat Ski Boat. Later in Batman Forever, he used the Batboat, the Batmobile, and the Batwing. And in Batman and Robin, Robin drove the Redbird motorcycle. Batman had the Batmobile. And then later in the film, they used the Bat Hammer on the ice. And I think there were a couple of other vehicles at the end I don't have. In Batman Begins, they rebooted the series, and Batman had sort of tank-like Batmobile. Dark Knight Returns inspired. It was the Tumbler. Here are 3 different versions of the Tumbler. On the left, Sub Studios, and on the right, a couple different variations from Mattel. Then, in the Dark Knight, he used the tumbler and the Batpod. Here it is, the 3 versions of the Batpod from Mattel, Mafex, and SH Figure Arts. And finally, in the Dark Knight Rises, he flew the Bat. Here's a crappy version by Mattel on the left, and then Hot Toys 1/12 scale version on the right. It's an impressive beast, to say the least. And then, of course, they rebooted the Batman franchise yet again. Ben Affleck as Batman in Batman vs Superman and Justice League, and he had a brand new Batmobile. In front of you are 4 different versions, all from Mattel, all 6-inch scale. On the far left, we have the Ultimate Radio-Controlled version, and then we have a basic version for Batman vs Superman, and then we have the DC Multiverse version, that is by far the best one, the 3rd one there, and the far right, that is a basic version, 6-inch scale from Justice League. Batfleck used a wide array of vehicles in his films. In Batman vs Superman, not only did he use a Batwheel, but he used a Batwing as well, and nobody has made a vehicle like that. And then in Justice League, he had even more vehicles. Here's the Batboat, next to the Mattel 6-inch scale Flying Fox and Nightcrawler. And then in the upcoming Flash film, we have vehicles by both Ben Affleck's Batman and Bob Keaton's Batman. In the trailer, we saw the Flying Fox drop off Ben Affleck on the Batcycle. And then, of course, we have the McFarlane Batmobile, which is an awesome vehicle. And on the right, this is the Spin Masters 12-inch scale Batwing. Still waiting on my McFarlane Batwing. They are totally bullshitting on shipping out my Batwing from their website. And at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League, we saw Batfleck on top of the Bat Tank. Here's a custom Bat Tank that I have, and this actually holds figures. I did a separate video on that recently if you want to check that out. Although this version is technically based off Batman The Dark Knight Returns, the comic. Similar vehicle. And then they went ahead and rebooted the Batman franchise yet again. They made the Batman with Robert Pattinson, and it was a good film. In front of you is the Drifter Motorcycle and Batcycle by McFarlane Toys, and then the Hot Wheels 1/10 scale Batmobile. Really surprised McFarlane didn't make one of these, and I'm still trying to track down the Spin Master 12-inch scale version. And you can't do a Batman vehicle comparison to this scale without showing it to possibly the best Batman vehicles out there. We have the DC Direct, Batman the TV Series Batmobile, Batwing. Absolutely phenomenal pieces. The only competitor for Best Batmobile is going to be the McFarlane Keaton Batmobile, or the DC Direct animated one. Now let's check out some Batman figures from different various companies next to this Batboat, and we'll start off with some of these smaller Batman figures I collect, and work our way larger. We already checked out both the Mattel and McFarlane 1966 Bat figures in there, and they fit pretty good. Here's some SH Figure Arts Batman figures next to the Batboat. Here are the SH Figure Arts Batman figures in this thing. They actually fit okay. The wires in their capes makes it kind of difficult, but so far so good. Although, it's a tight squeeze it is. I don't think many Batman figures larger than this will fit. And here are some Mafex Batman figures in front of this Batboat. And then technically the Mafex figures fit. I mean, they go all the way down the seats. The capes are a little bit bunched up. They stick out a little bit too far, of course, but so do the figures that are intended for this boat. Then, here's some Mattel, DC Universe Classics, and Multiverse Batman figures in front of the Batboat. Try to include some with cloth capes, as there's no way the plastic cape ones are fitting in there. And technically, these Mattel figures fit as well. They actually fit into the seats. You can see they stick out. It would never work without the cloth cape versions. But you know what? This guy's not a bad fit in this vehicle. And here's some Mezco 1/12 collective figures in front of the Batboat. And while technically the Mezco figures fit in there too, I really didn't want to shove one in there with a wire cape. But here's a Batfleck in there. Yeah, he's way too big, but you can't actually get him all the way in there. That's about the tallest line that's going to fit in there. Here's some NECA Batman figures in front of the Batboat. And they're just far too damn big. And here's some DC Direct and DC Collectibles Batman figures next to the Batboat. Also far too big. And finally, here's some McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman figures next to the Batboat. And while technically you can fit one in there, one leg in each of the seats sticks up quite too far. Absolutely ridiculous, but it's not intended for these figures. So overall, it's a pretty cool vehicle. Yes, it's very basic. It doesn't actually do anything. A couple small things I would have tweaked. The steering wheel just to rotate. I know it's simple, but it makes a little bit of difference. The gear shift also could have rotated, but that's really not a big deal. Yeah, the bat phone could open up. The console could be a lot more detailed, but it's an affordable vehicle. For 30 bucks, well, I guess $35 nowadays, it's a fair price, not as good a value as it could be. Much better value than that small dinky bat cycle for the same price. Really happy to check this off my list. It'll be a nice background vehicle for some of the larger figures, and it'll actually hold some of your 6-inch or even 6.5-inch figures, as long as they don't have hard plastic capes. If I were to rate this vehicle, like I said, it's basic, but I'm still going to give it a 7 out of 10. I really appreciate when they give us normal, accurate depictions of vehicles from the films, comics, video games, TV shows, cartoons, etc. So thank you, McFarlane, for making this. Hope you make the Batcopter next. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.